Okay, hey team. I am glad that you guys are all here. Welcome to our Sunday night call. I am really excited that I get to introduce Nici Hinkel. I told you guys we didn't get to do it last week because of the fun holiday, but this week's our week. We get the pleasure of having this wonderful woman here. I wanted her to come on here because she and her husband are both diamonds, first of all, which is just mind-blowing to me how that even happens. But she has an incredible team. She sets herself apart as a leader constantly in this company. Nici, you have such I don't know, your spirit, there's something about you, your personality, you're just so upbeat and positive, and just the way you love on people and pour into them. So guys, I know we can learn a lot from this woman, no pressure, but I asked her to just share her story and how she got started with this, and then her top business tips that we can take away and hopefully steal and use and grow our teams. So take it away, girl.
Awesome. Thank you so much. What a sweet intro. So I'm going to start it by telling y'all my story. So I started Plexus purely for the business. I wasn't one that started for the product. So I started running. I started off the ground running. I hit gold pretty quickly. It was my third month in, I hit gold, and then I hit rank after rank after rank. I went senior gold, ruby, senior ruby, and then it was 4 months from senior ruby to emerald. So I was emerald in 10 months, and I was on this fast track, and it just came easy and was blowing through it. And 4 months later, I hit sapphire, and I was in full momentum. And then 2 months after that, which was July of 2014, I ended with 4,200 points. And so I thought, I'm going to be diamond in 16 months. This is going to be great. And I was increasing like 700 or 800 points a month. So I knew in August I would hit diamond. And then August hit. August 2014 was very similar to August 2016. Hopefully y'all's August wasn't the way my August was, but it was a rough month. And that was how it was in 2014. And I couldn't explain why. I had great growth in July, and all of a sudden in August, my points went backwards. And that was my first time to experience that, so I was shocked. And I ended that month about 4,000 points, and nowhere near the goal I had for 4,500. And I thought, fluke month, September will be new. I went backwards in September. I went backwards in October. I went backwards in November, and went backwards in December. In December, I ended right over 3,000. I was just barely holding sapphire. So at this point, I had horrible growth on my team. Everything had kind of come to a standstill. So I just assumed January I'm losing sapphire. And honestly, I was so fearful at this point because I didn't know that the ups and downs were normal in network marketing. And so I thought I hit my peak. Now this is my fall. And it was terrifying. Forward momentum is fun. Backwards momentum can be scary. And so January came, and it brought a new year. January is always a fantastic month, despite how bad December can be. And it brought new growth and new excitement. And my husband hit sapphire this month, and I actually went forward. And so I was like, it's over. We're behind that. And February went forward. And then March was the month that I actually got my first jewel on my team. And so this is my first level 1 jewel. And I had tons of rank advancements on my team. Exciting, exciting month for my team. And I went 1 point backwards. 1 darn point. And I was so pissed off at that point because I thought that 1 point was going to basically kind of ruin my testimony. Like, now I can't say I just went backwards for
Nici, hello. I think we might have lost you.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Okay, yes, you were frozen for a minute there. Okay.
Okay, I don't know what happened, but I was saying I had went backwards at 1 point, and I thought that had ruined my testimony because now I'm not going to be able to say that, I've had forward momentum this whole time until that one season of backwards because of that 1 point, and it kind of haunted me. And so in April, my husband and I sat down and we set out our goals for diamond, and we decided we both wanted to hit diamond in May so that we could be diamond at convention. And we were very, very far still from that goal. And we came up with a game plan, and he supported me working and nonstop while he helped with the kids so that we could do this together. And it was a crazy month and a half, but we hit double diamond in May. And like, it was a day, like 24 hours apart, we hit diamond, boom, boom. And it was so crazy and so fun after I hit it to be able to tell people. The month before last, I went backwards 1 point, and then we hit diamond twice in 1 month. So if you have, I love that actually happened to my testimony. So I can tell people now, just because you're going backwards this month doesn't mean that in 2 months you won't hit your ultimate goal, because anything can change in this industry. Things happen so quickly, and they turn around up and down. Momentum is, when it happens fast. And when it stops fast. And just because it stops doesn't mean it's not going to start back. So it's something now to keep in mind. Now that I've seen these seasons, I feel so much more comfortable that right now I'm in the backwards momentum again, even though, you know, my growth is great. The points aren't going the direction we want them to go, but I have so much peace about it right now because I know what to do, and I know we'll survive. So one of the shifts that I did, whenever I got from that December to January, when I went from the backwards to forwards, is I completely shifted my focus off of trying to hit diamond and on to trying to get my team to diamond. So this is my first tip to you, is to focus on your team success, not my team to diamond, my team to the rank. Focus on your team success. Do not focus on your own points. So that shift was so huge for me, because up until then, it was almost so consuming because I had diamond right at my fingertips and lost it, and that's all I could think about and all I wanted. And it fully consumed me that I forgot I have this entire team that also is pushing for ranks that they can't hit. And instead of trying to hit my own rank, I started trying to get Tammy to gold, and Sarah to ruby, and Julie to senior gold, and, you know, Jane to silver. And I started focusing on these people and just taking them one at a time and helping them break down what their goals are and helping them set up a game plan on how to reach that goal, and just totally focused on them. And that shift, I went from having 0 promotions to, I think I had 20 that January, when the month before I had none. And it changed everything on my team. It changed the morale. It changed my points. It changed everything. And so, and even shooting for the shopping spree this year, you know, my husband won the shopping spree again for the 3rd year in a row, and it's all I consume over it. You know, when we were looking at it, I was consuming like, we got to hit the shopping spree. We got to hit the shopping spree. Me. And then I realized this is not happening. This does not look good. There is no shot at it. So I went back and remembered the last time I felt defeated, that this is not happening. I had to shift my focus. So that was, and it was the beginning of August is when I shifted my focus, and I thought, I've just got to get my people to leaders retreat. And so I started a leaders retreat thread for my 1 through 3s, and that's all we focused on, was getting those people to leaders retreat. And sure enough, we got the shopping spree. So it is amazing what that shift of focus will do for your team and for your success. And even if you are new, you may think, well, I don't have a big team in this to be focusing on. If you have one person, you have someone to focus on. So as soon as you get someone on your team, start helping them get to silver, you know, start helping the silver go gold. If you start early, you won't make the mistakes I did higher up, and it builds so much team culture and morale within your people. So this is my first and foremost rule of thumb. Anytime I'm struggling to hit a goal, I check my focus and I reshift it to my people and often myself. So my second tip that I want to give y'all is going to be the exact opposite. So stop focusing on others and start focusing on yourself. And this is in a different way. It's so easy for comparison to ruin your business. So the second part of this I want to talk about is how to stay grounded in hard times and how to not let that sink in and define you. Because if you stay in this long enough, you're going to have good times and you're going to have bad times. No one is exempt from that. And if you let that define you, then you won't ever get out of it. So for some people, everyone has a different way to really kind of stay grounded. For some, it's, you hear positive self-talk. We hear people talk about the circle maker and praying in circles around things, and positive affirmations and listening to positive affirmations over you. And I've heard all of these, you hear all of these different things that work best for somebody, but whatever it is, you have to find something that is going to keep you grounded and to stop comparing. For me, choosing gratitude is huge. Choosing to practice gratitude is huge in hard seasons. But the one thing, again, that's absolutely crucial for you is to not let yourself feel shame or comparison in this season. Do not focus on how other people are succeeding more than you. So this is where I say shift that focus. Do not look to your sidelines and see who is hitting your rank faster. Why is this happening for them and not me? Once you start doing that, you're almost guaranteed to stop right in your spot where you're at. So nothing will sink your business faster than shame and comparison. We're in an industry, though, that makes it so very hard to stay grounded. It's so hard because there's competitions, there's ranks. We're looking at these things. We're seeing people win contests. We're seeing people hit ranks faster than us. And these ranks, it's amazing how quickly we let them define us. And I've been guilty of it. I remember my first year at Leaders Retreat. I was senior Ruby and sitting at the pool, and there were 3 diamonds over to the side. And I remember nudging Zach and being like, "They're diamond." I don't know their name. I don't know who they are, but I knew they were diamond, and that defined them to me. But the danger of that, once you start defining others by their rank, you start defining yourself by your rank. And you may think, "Oh, I'm just silver and she's diamond." And let me tell you, that does not mean you do not have value to bring to me. Your rank does not define your talents or your skills in this. So do not let that come in and define you. Scarcity is the idea that culture tells us that we are not enough. It's when we define ourselves by our skills and our looks, our points, our ranks. When we say to ourselves, "I'm not outgoing enough. I'm not a good enough salesperson. I'm not talented at that. I can't speak publicly." This is scarcity, and this brings on shame. So the definition I've read that I love the most about shame is feeling unworthy of love and belonging. So it starts with a simple comparison. It turns into scarcity, where you think, "I'm not good enough at this. I won't ever succeed." And then it can turn on to full-blown shame, where you think, "I'm not worthy of this." And this cycle may sound extreme, or you may be thinking that I'm speaking directly to you. Everyone's going to have a different spot on that. But we've all heard the saying that comparison is the thief of joy. And I want to say to you guys, it's not just the thief of joy. Comparison, it's the thief of love, of belonging. It's the thief of innovation, of creativity. It's the thief of faith. It's the thief of success with your business. It's the thief of your success. And not only tells you what the thing about comparison, it not only tells you that you're not good as the other person you're comparing yourself to. It also tells you that other people think you're not as good as the people you're comparing yourself to. You start to think it's not just you that thinks this. Other people think this. And once we start thinking this about ourselves and start focusing on others being better than you, that's the moment, it will sink you. And so what I want for you is, and what is necessary for you to succeed through these hard times when we are in hard seasons, is to be able to pinpoint this and call it what it is. It's a lie. If you're thinking right now, I don't have what it takes to hit ruby, or I don't have what it takes to hit gold. That's a lie. You do have this in you. We all have this in us. And so find something that is going to keep you grounded. Find some way to remind yourself of this. Find some way to keep that in check so that you don't let that bring you down, whether that be an accountability partner or, like I said earlier, for me, it's choosing to practice gratitude, not just feeling grateful, but practicing it every day. And I have a gratitude journal. I'll write it down every day. And anytime I can think of something new that I am grateful for, I am looking at it, I'm reading over it, and gratitude brings joy, and joy is the opposite of comparison. And so once I have that in my heart, it just takes away those comparing feelings, because it doesn't matter what rank you're at, you're not exempt to that. Like, it's going to hit you everywhere you are. Like, as soon as you see somebody doing something better than you start comparing, and it sinks us all. So those are the two major tips I have for y'all tonight, and that is, take the focus off yourself and put it on your team is your first tip. Your second tip is take the focus off others and put it on your own strengths when it comes to like the comparison. So they sound opposite, but really in the nutshell, they're not. So this industry, you go through seasons and storms, but let me tell you, I've been through seasons and storms, and you can survive it. If you will weather the storm, you will not only come out a little bit stronger, you will come out a tenfold stronger. So every time you go through a hard time where you're going backwards, just remember, when you come out on top, that forward momentum is right over the hill. So
I have a question.
Oh, yes.
Sorry, I'm going to surprise you. I didn't let you prepare for these.
Okay.
I never know what I'm going to ask.
Right.
So I know a lot of people on my team feel like they've been doing this for a while, and it has been a big part of being stuck, feeling stuck. And for people on your team who feel stuck, who feel like they reach out to people and aren't getting the responses that they want, and they feel like they've reached out to their entire market and everybody's told them no, how do you kind of like handle those situations? Like, how do you help people? I hope I'm saying this clearly. Get unstuck. And I know it's probably maybe changing up what they're saying. I mean, there's no magic words. We know that. But I don't know if you can decipher what I just asked. Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting because everybody has a different way of doing this based on your strengths and your influence. So the first thing I would look at is, if they have a team, let's look at your team first, and let's see who on your team we can help, and let's see who's close and how we can reach out and what we can troubleshoot on your leadership skills and on your team. So I love to, goal setting is my strength. So I love to set up the numbers for the people on their team, like, let's look and see how many people so-and-so needs to hit this rank. And let's look to see, and putting it out on a piece of paper for them in a game plan, it just gives them a vision. I think them getting that vision that this can happen always works. So that's just one part of the token. Then you have to focus on your own personal business too, on the adding level ones. And for some people, it is tweaking what you say. For others, they could cold message all day long and never get a single response. So some people just have to learn to build relationships. Like, how is your relationship with these people you are cold messaging? If you have not talked to them in 3 years and you reach out and say, hey, join my Plexus team, you're probably not going to get a good response. So you have to go to the heart of the issue and make sure those relationships are solid before you are just messaging every single person, because cold messaging can work amazing, but it can also bite you in the rear if you don't be careful. So make sure you're building relationships, and make sure when you are wanting someone to join your team, like, it's the shift in focus, and that you are thinking of them and not yourself. Make sure when you want someone on your team, you truly want them on your team because you truly believe this is going to change their life. And if you really do believe that, they're going to hear that in your voice. And when I cold message, I like to do it through the voice thing, because I think the words, they can't hear your heart, and I'll tell them that. So I get better response with that. But I think if you really do want this for them, because whether that be they need it financially, or you think they would be amazing, or they have diabetes, whatever that reason is, they're going to hear that in your voice if you truly are sincere in that. And that tends to help people start to build their level ones and their personal business again when they shift that focus.
Yeah. And then, okay, one last question, I promise. And then
yeah. No, you're fine.
So what do you think, like, has there been something that's been really successful for your team as far as Facebook parties or at-home business launch parties or, you know, any of those kind of things? I know some teams are great at vendor fairs and others are all about every day somebody's doing a Facebook party. You know, has your team done that, or has it been mostly just word of mouth? Let's just talk to people and, like, I don't know if there's been one avenue your team has picked.
Yeah, you know, this is where I love when I'm coaching with my level ones. I really love to focus on what your strength is. I love the Facebook parties and the Facebook, the live opportunity meetings. I am horrible at an in-person opportunity meeting. I can speak on these things all day long, and I feel comfortable and in my safe place. You put me on a stage, and I just shake and I freeze. Like I'm just not good at it at all. And so I'm not going to be one that's hosting lots of opportunity meetings publicly, because if I came to your town and hosted one, everybody would leave. It would not help your business. And so it's not my strength. And I know that it's not my strength. However, if I see a level one who's a good speaker, I'm going to be telling them you need to host public opportunity meetings because you would be amazing and your team would grow. If I see someone who's not a good speaker, we're going to find another avenue. And I'll tell you, this can be tricky to help people work within their strengths, because it's really easy to make excuses for the things that we're fearful of doing. And it's not really that it's not your strength, it's that you're just fearful of doing it. So it can be a fine line there. But I really do I'd like to make sure we are doing lots of different avenues, and each different leg is doing something a little bit different within their own skill set and their strengths.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much for just doing this. I know we're not on your team, but you set aside the time for us, and you prepared your notes and you thought about it. So I really appreciate it, girl. But I'm excited to see you next week. Yeah. And have fun. You're going on the diamond trip, aren't you?
Yes, in 2 days.
Have fun.
Yes.
Okay. We will see you guys